This is my OG Glacier Game Boy Advance, and I actually really enjoy this thing. I used to have one. Well, my sister had one when I was a kid, and I used to use it off of her, but I really enjoy this console. But unfortunately, there are just some issues where you can't really play this game as a modern day console because the screen is not backlit like the GBA SP. If we take this copy of Pokemon Sapphire, for example, which was donated very nicely by my sister, you can see that we boot up and we can't really see it. Obviously you can see my face there, but you can't really see the game, unfortunately. Like if you're looking at face on, you can't see squat. It's really bad. But I have some things here that are gonna help us be able to actually see what's going on the screen, and that is with a new IPS screen mod. Now this mod also comes with the shell because you need to have a shell replacement. You can use the OG shell itself, but usually you have to shave down the insides, which I'm not gonna do because I don't have the tools for that. Plus this one's already pre-made, has a laminated screen and everything, and it comes with a USB-C charging mod, so you don't actually have to replace the batteries. You can literally just charge it straight from the case. This one is the high-speed Edo one. I'm not really sure which one is the best one. I'm pretty sure they're all relatively the same, and it's already pre-laminated, which is really nice. It is worth mentioning this is the one that does not take any solder because I don't have the skills yet to solder. I do have an iron, but I don't yet have the skills to do it, so I'm not gonna do that on a brand new display, especially for a console like this. So this is the non-solder kit, essentially. This kit also comes with the necessary screwdrivers that you need to actually be able to open up the shell. I think it's a Phillips head and a Y-wing, I think that's what it's called. All right, let's just get this started here first. You also get a little Game Boy Advance sticker here, which kind of mirrors the same one I have already on the back here, which is really nice. So that just separates just like that, which is really nice. It comes already with these, the rubber pads and everything like that. All right, so first things first, we're just gonna take out the game and the batteries because we no longer need those. Bye. It is worth mentioning that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that are all Y-wing on the outside here, and then we have one Phillips head right down here near the battery charger. For what it's worth, these screwdrivers are actually pretty good, and they're magnetic. And now you should just be able to separate the two halves. Look at that, look how easy that was. So as you guys can see, this is the insides of the Game Boy. You obviously have your ribbon cable up here. You've got your audio connector down here, the scroll wheel to turn it up and down, the power button here, all that good stuff. Well, what we're gonna do is, well, we're just gonna take some isopropyl alcohol and just wipe this all down and make sure it's all clean before we eventually put it into the new case. This is the smallest piece of plastic I could find. It's just a pen, but it's just to get these two notches right here, boom and boom. I have to get those opened. And just like that, it comes right out. I had to concentrate really hard for that, so that's why I did that. And like, there shouldn't be anything keeping this together as far as I know, right? Okay, so what I didn't realize was that there was literally one screw. Screw was removed. Don't make sure to get all the screws out. There's no screw right there. Good gracious, how did I ever get this far in life? This essentially is the motherboard of the Game Boy that you want. This is the most valuable part. You can literally just take this and put it into any shell and you'll be fine. This is the most important part. Come on, all right. These kits will either come with a 32-pin or a 40-pin connector, and there is one easy way to find out which Game Boy model you have. Just simply take your motherboard and look for the little number up here, and if it's a 40, you have a 40-pin, and if it's a 32, you have a 32-pin. Or alternatively, you can also look here. If it starts with an O, it's a 40-pin. If it does not start with an O, it's a 32-pin. So the no solder about this is you can literally just take these two little touch pads and you can put them on the shell of the Game Boy here, so you don't actually have to solder anything, which I might do a soldering tutorial later, but for now I'm just gonna do the no solder because I'm not skilled enough yet. At this point, I half forgot and half was concentrating too hard, so I didn't mess anything up that I completely forgot to record my audio. But you remove those adhesive strip covers and mount the screen onto the shell by putting it through the shell and then onto the shell like this. Then remove the plastic adhesive covers for the sensor pads. These allow you to change the display brightness and type of screen you see. But if you choose to solder your display, it comes with wires that you can map to the buttons on the GBA. Once the display is in and the wires are stuck to the shell, you can start assembling things, starting with the 32 or 40 pin connector. My GBA has a 40 pin, and you could just slide the ribbon cable in with these pins facing the display and then secure it with the clasp. Then slide the other end into the Game Boy's motherboard and clamp the clasps we opened earlier. Then it's just about placing the buttons and their pads into the shell. If the gray parts of the pads are facing away from the buttons, they are installed correctly. Do not do what I did and put them in the wrong way the first time. You'll save yourself a lot of time doing that. Then flip the motherboard over into the other shell and screw everything together. Make sure there aren't any big gaps, but if there are, just tighten the screws on the back to close them. Speaking of which, I highly recommend using anything other than the Y-wing screws that come standard with the GPA. They are so much more annoying to screw in and you're less likely to strip the screws or the screwdriver itself. Then we'll put the USB-C rechargeable battery in the compartment in the back, making sure that it's nice and snug and the terminals line up. Then you can just snap the battery cover on. The final cosmetic bits here, like the Game Boy Advance sticker on the back that you just lay down. And then we'll load a game in, which I'm going to load in Pokemon Sapphire, and satisfyingly pull the plastic off the laminated screen. And then the most satisfying part. Now I recommend at some point during the install process to make sure the screen works before you put it all together, that way you can address it then and there, but this is just what you can expect to get as the final product. After doing this entire IPS mod, I am extremely satisfied with the finished product. It just looks absolutely gorgeous and I don't think you can disagree with me. And if you want to see more content like this with Game Boys or DSs or 3DSs, make sure to subscribe. I always have new content coming out, whether it's one of those things or all of them. I like making gaming content like this, so if you want to see more of that, make sure to subscribe. And be sure to let me know what your favorite Game Boy game or Nintendo game in general is in the comments. I personally right now am playing a lot of modded Mario Kart 7 on my 3DS. I'm having a blast, aside from obviously playing some Pokemon Sapphire. But yeah, let me know what your favorite is in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out, guys.